not live on here with everybody, but we're going to do that to make it available. So it can hopefully be, my goal is to have it about 8 to 10 minutes. If it's too long, then I'll just have to talk faster and go through it again. So my goal is if we can get it around 10 minutes, it'll be great because I know there's a lot of you that are like, oh, well, hey, so-and-so couldn't make it tonight, so we're sending another one. Do you have one that's a little shorter than 20 minutes? The answer is going to be a very resounding yes here very shortly. So I will be working on that. Maybe over the holiday weekend. I'm not sure. I might put in a little time for you. So welcome. Those of you that are seeing me for the first time, my name is Kevin Marino. I have the pleasure of sharing some great information. Our company that that we're sharing tonight is a company called Illuno, and it's powered by Good Energy Co. And you guys are going to see a lot more of the info of Good Energy Co. as we go. And we have officially launched our pre-launch, if you will. Big launch event, official launch event in Dallas, going to take place here in September. So very excited, looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I'm going to share some information with you because we have such great information to share. And it's an amazing time to be part of this company and building, because it's very rare, folks. It's very rare that you find a tech company that has technology that's been in place and working for 8+ years. And the only thing that's brand new is the way that we're marketing it. How cool is that? It's nice to have something that's in place and it works. You can count on it because it is really crank. So I'm going to go through that information with you tonight, show you what's on the table, some of the money that's on the table, and we'll go from there. And I'll do a little Q&A, hang out afterwards. I'll do a little Q&A. And here we go. Let's get rocking and rolling. So obviously one of the reasons I'm here is, obviously I love being able to communicate and work with police officers and communities and bring them back together again after the craziness that has gone on over the last few years. But how cool is it that we can actually get paid a commission on hours that are being worked by other people? To me, that's just obviously that's a bonus, because the world we live in, we really need protection, and a lot has happened over the last number of years between businesses and the police and the communities, and things going sour. It's all starting to come back now. But unfortunately, so much has happened. I mean, you're seeing vehicle thefts in the billions of dollars. You're seeing retail theft up 70%. And this costs businesses tens of billions of dollars on an annual basis. It is reprehensible what's been going on, but there's a better way. We help people to hire off-duty police officers in a better, simpler, more convenient way, because illuno's created a marketplace. I kind of call us the Uber of off-duty police officers, because that's kind of what we are. Like Uber put together, or brought together, I should say, riders and drivers, Illuno is bringing together business owners and off-duty police officers. So it's really kind of cool. And we also have them, they're all fully vetted. I'm going to get into that a little bit more as we go through this. And all of this is on demand 24/7. So in a $30 billion marketplace, which is the marketplace of off-duty police officers, think about this. 50% of the security shifts go unfilled. Okay, because these first couple stats, I kind of keep swapping them around, talking about them differently. And I do that purposely because 50% of the income on police officers on average across the country comes from doing off-duty work. But if 50% of their income comes from off-duty work, but yet 50% of the shifts go unfilled, that means this is not really a $30 billion marketplace. This is somewhere between a $50 and a $60 billion marketplace. And the police officers that we're trying to help here could be actually making a significant amount more money. Because right now, the way that it's set up and the way that it's running, they're not making money. They're leaving money on the table. And worse than that is the communities stay vulnerable because they're not getting the protection shifts that they're looking for. So again, the Uber of law enforcement, you're looking at an industry rate of up to 50%, and we are double. All right, we're basically double the industry average, folks. That's a pretty amazing stat when you start to think about it. And what is our main focus? Is to bring businesses together who need protection with off-duty officers. We are working with both sides to help protect the communities, businesses, and the customers that take part in those businesses. Well, why illuno? Well, because we're very simple to work with. All right, if you start talking to businesses out there, or you own a business that hires off-duty officers, you're typically dealing with a coordinator of some sort, of some capacity in the municipality or the precinct or wherever, I mean, in the town. So there's somebody that you have to deal with and call up and say, hey, listen, I have this business, I need some off-duty officers. And they put your information in, and hopefully it gets filled. I say hopefully because sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. They fill on average less than 50%. Folks, I think that's absolutely insane. All right, there's a lot of officers out there who are not getting access to the jobs. Some of this is still being done very, very old school, where they're writing it on a piece of paper or they're printing it out and tacking it up on a wall, and the guys come by and they write their name on it if they're interested in it. And a lot of times there's a little nepotism that goes on. They got the friends and family, all that they want these particular people working all the jobs. So a lot falls between the cracks. And unfortunately, who pays the price for it? Well, it's the businesses. So when you have the ability to reach out and put something, utilize our software, put the jobs right in there. There's no more back and forth calls. Everything gets filled in minutes, no matter what type of event you're dealing with. So it could be a special event, could be a political event, could be monster concert. Sometimes people are going to need even different types of officers to be able to work that. Sometimes you're going to need SWAT to be there. Sometimes you're going to need some of the canine units, things like that. We have a white glove service that we can fulfill those in most jurisdictions. Now, a lot of these times you're going to hear me saying most this, some of these, most of this. And the reason for that is no matter where you go in the country, everything is different. Sometimes it differs by town, sometimes by city, sometimes by county. And there's nothing that is uniform throughout the state. In any of the states that we've run into so far, nothing is uniform all the way through. So our goal is to make the marketplace as uniform as humanly possible. So when companies are working in multi-jurisdictions all over the place, they know they can just go in, instead of talking to coordinators in 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 different counties, because they're working, they're a big monster construction company, for example. And instead of dealing with all of them, all they have to do is get on our software, which is available via the phone, a tablet, a PC, anywhere they are. Again, flexibility and control, seamless. It's very simple. Everything is very fair and transparent. All the pricing is right there. There's no middle people. There's no hidden fees. It's very, very simple for them. Again, let's go back to Uber for a second. If you're at the airport, you get out, you open up your app, you want to go to the hotel, you type it in. When you hit it, comes up with a quote. You hit yes, the car shows up. Same thing here. They get in, they put in the information, they create their profile, they put in their event, comes up with a quote, they hit yes, quote gets filled. It's, again, very simple, very straightforward. Now, why off-duty officers instead of security guards? And folks, this is not meant to disparage security guards, but they can only do so much. And unfortunately, the criminals now know that the security guards aren't going to do too much, because most of the businesses don't want the liability and don't want the security guards getting involved. So unfortunately, they basically effectively become a scarecrow. All right. And the criminals know it because all they do is kind of wag their finger at them and, call the police. So the police officers, what's nice about having them right there, they can arrest, they can cite, they can enforce. They create that confidence and the stability in the area. And just seeing them present at the location is a deterrent. Now, is it deterrent for everybody? No, of course not. All right, we got some wackadoodles out there, but guess what? That's why they're there. They can call people. They can take care of it at a moment's notice. Now, IDME, I was talking about vetting earlier. All of our officers are vetted through IDME, and so are all of our customers. Now, we've also partnered with IDME, the #1 vetting company globally, utilized by many federal agencies and government agencies, healthcare organizations. They have almost 600,000 active duty police officers in their system in the United States. So we've partnered with them to help them get the word out to their people to get on the illuno system. We also take the new police officer come through. We send them through there. They get themselves set up with IDME and also the customers. Why both sides? Because the customer wants to know they have vetted, basically the real police officers showing up. So if they have a jewelry store, or there's a big event at a jewelry convention, they don't have 92 fake police officers showing up. We know that these are police officers. We know they're real. They're going to get listed in the back office. People are going to know exactly who they are. Likewise, when the officers are going to protect a business or it could be a personal party, it could be anything. They want to know that they're not walking into a bad situation. So illuno makes sure, and IDME makes sure that we protect both sides of the equation. Now, there's a lot of benefits to hiring off-duty officers. I like, obviously, a few different ones. I always point out the quick response to emergencies. That's always nice because if something bad happens, they have a call. It's right. They have the walkie-talkie right there on their vest. They can make a call at just a moment's notice to get fire, to get an ambulance there, whatever's necessary. They also have access to other law enforcement resources, so they can call in backup if there's ever an issue. They're professional, reliable, and they can it's an enhanced deterrent to potential criminals. So hopefully they can keep it more calm than would normally have been the case if it had been security guards. So social proof is pretty cool. You start to see this more and more. The business owners are very, very happy because we fill their shifts. The police officers are excited because it's, getting off-duty work is pretty simple for them. Because the cool part is so what the software that we share with the business owner is they can utilize it. It's software. We don't charge them for it. They can use it from their phone, their tablet, or their PC. The police officers actually have access to an app that notifies them. They can also put their active duty schedule in. So when they get the update and all of a sudden some jobs start coming through, anything that comes through to them, they already know does not conflict with their active duty schedule. So it's pretty cool. A lot of really good stuff. Got some insurance that also protects the officers and the businesses. It's an umbrella policy, one of the biggest ones that you'll find in our industry. And we're getting to the point we have thousands of users in the system. So again, what's nice about that? Everybody is starting to see that it works. Kind of like when Uber was that concept at first and you thought about it, and I'm gonna hop into a stranger's vehicle. They're gonna take me from point A to point B, and I'm not gonna give them money. I'm gonna actually put my credit card in the app, and kind of went through your head. You're like, all right, I'll give this a try. I want to know who was the first people that gave that a try, because that took a lot of faith. And in the same way, it takes a lot of faith for some of the businesses to say, all right, well, let me trust the safety and protection of my business to your new system. The really cool thing, though, it's not a new system for us. It's 8+ years old. It's been tried, true, it's tested, and we've come a long way. So now, knowing all that, how cool would it be, going back to what I mentioned on the first slide, how cool would it be for you to be able to earn passive residual income for this? All right, we're looking at, you see a little sign over this says $250 an hour. Well, we will teach people how to share the illuno concept with local businesses. All right, the businesses sign up for free. There is no cost to them. They just simply create a profile. They're going to get an email. We tell them to, follow that email, go do your ID me. And once you're in there, boom, you're done. You are ready to put some events in, post some shifts, get them ready to go. The cool thing is if you brought this business, you're going to earn $2.50 an hour commission for every officer, every hour, every shift residually. Folks, that's pretty cool. All right. And when you start to do the numbers, you start to realize here, when you compare it to different types of businesses that are out there, that are in our profession, what you start to realize is, when I go to those other guys, every person I go to is a customer, is one sale, it's one small sale. Here, it can really add up quickly. I talk about electricity a lot. We used to do electricity. I needed 500 to 800 customers to make about $1,000 a month. Here, if I go out and I get 4 customers who just average 100 hours a month, 4 customers, 100 hours a month each, 400 hours, bam, that's $1,000 a month. Folks, the dollars will add up here very, very quickly. And even if you've never done this before, don't worry about it. We will bring you right through step by step what we do. So how to get started? It's simple. Just get signed up at no cost. And I know everybody's going, well, how long is that no cost going? Guess what? We know the no cost is going until at least we're looking at September. Okay? Well, that's the word I've gotten. So you know what? Now's the time to build. Go out, build. This is the time. Watch some of the videos in the back office, get you started pretty quickly. Learn to share it with local businesses. And sometimes I get the question, do I have to build a team? Absolutely not. It is absolutely not required for you to build a team. But if you do, you get an override on everything that they do as well. So it ends up being a pretty cool situation. Quick overview, little bit of dollars to throw in there. 3 customers, 80 hours a week, 240 hours, that's $600 a week, because 240 times $2.50 is $600. That's $2,400 a month. So you realize at that point in time, you're looking at 3 customers. Maybe you get 1 customer a week. Maybe you get 2 or 3 customers a month. Maybe some of you folks who came from doing ERC and stuff like that know a lot of commercial customers, and you're sitting here right now writing a list going, I know this guy has security, I know this guy has security, I know these guys use off-duty officers. A lot of you know who those potential customers are already. Think about how many of those customers you can add to this. And then the question becomes, well, how many hours? These are small customers. How many hours do some of these larger customers use? It gets absolutely crazy. So what's the risk? People say, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, I reiterate, there's no cost to join. You don't need any technical skills. You don't have to memorize a whole bunch of ingredients and, what something was, where they're buying it, where they're selling it. Is it good for you? Is it not? You don't have to know any of that stuff. We walk through everything that goes on. This is a simple, straightforward. So my question always is, well, what if it actually worked better than you imagined? What if?
Yeah.
What if? So I look at this, it's a win-win-win-win. It's 4 wins, not 3. All right. We get to help businesses thrive, help officers earn more dollars. We get to build some wealth, all the while making our communities and our cities safer. Folks, it is, I haven't seen anything like it. So I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. I'm going to close this part out. I'm going to jump into some Q&A. Those of you that are joining us for the first time, I saw a bunch of new names on there. Feel free to jump in and ask a couple questions here and there. I do not mind. And with that, let me there we go. You think I've done a Zoom once or twice before, but somebody was unmuted. Who was that? That was Lynn. Lori, how are you tonight?
Aloha, I'm good.
Hello.
I had heard a snippet of so we are actually the marketing arm for this security staffing is what we're doing, right? Staffing?
We are not, so we are not security staffing. We are a marketplace software that connects law enforcement with the customers who need protection. We started off as a staffing app. You are going to run across staffing apps when you're out there. All right. The staffing apps are not nearly what we are, because let me just give you a quick example. So how many counties are there? Think about this. How many counties are in the United States? A lot, right? How many of them have a county festival or something going on? And they have massive amounts of people, sometimes for a weekend, sometimes for a whole week. Typically, those counties can't handle it. A staffing app works in that particular area. They don't spread out. They don't go to different places. The cool part about illuno is we lock in not only that particular county, we work with all the counties around it, because the goal is that the customer gets the protection that they need. So it's very important that you have more access than you need. So they set it up where if the festival is in Polk County, for example, where I live, that they get first shot at all the different jobs that are available. Now, if they can't fill it, well, it's going to go out to Osceola County. It's going to go to Lake. It's going to go all the different counties that are surrounding us. Because the most important thing is that the amount of protection that's necessary at the events is reachable, is available, and can be booked. So that's how we drastically differ from the staffing apps. The other ways is we do all the accounting for them. All right, there's no chasing around officers for W-9s, figuring out how to pay them in different jurisdictions, or sending them 1099s at the end of the year. We got it all covered. The customer pays illuno. Illuno pays the officers within 3 days. They pay us. They do all the accounting. They take care of all of that for the customer. So we are, when someone says, "Oh, you're like one of those other guys," no, we're not. It would be like comparing Uber to a local taxi company. We do different things. Hope that makes sense.
Hello, question. This is Eric. Can you hear me?
Hi, Eric. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Good, thanks.
Yes. Once we start marketing, so would we approach local businesses and then of course talk to them about this service? Is that what we're doing, or?
Yes, and what you want to do, so we have lists out of 7 different industries that are really good, that use security all the time, that use police officers, need protection on a regular basis. We have those lists of those 7 industries. We also have a list of 50 different types of businesses. So we have all that information for you that you can take and run with. You can do it locally. You can get on the phone and call to another state. You kind of work it. What I suggest, and what's really working and what's gotten some of the biggest accounts in so far, is people talk to people they know. I mean, we're networkers. What do? We talk a lot. Not me,
Okay.
not me per se, but we talk a lot.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Kevin.
You're most welcome.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Rob.
How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Good. Hey, I'm a GC in Denver.
Okay,
And I have access to probably 20 of the biggest GCs in Denver and into Colorado who all use either security or they use ProVisual solar cameras.
yep,
Which by the time they find somebody coming in the gate, the guy's already done destruction, and then they call the Denver police. By the time they get there,
forget it.
blah, 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 blah.
Yep,
I am absolutely on fire with this, man. My company has 7 projects in Denver. We have 8 projects in San Antonio and 3 projects in Corpus Christi.
there you go.
And like I said, Kevin, I know probably 90% of all the big GCs that I could just pick up the phone, call the president and say, hey, you got to
Yep.
look at this, man. Do you have any kind of a video that's specifically for the GCs and doesn't
No.
have the 250?
The customer video, we put it out, noticed that there was a few errors in it. It's being corrected
Okay,
like now.
all
We're,
right.
we're
Well,
working on that.
if I
But
can get-
so
if
you
I can
you
get
can
my-
kind of confirm one of the GCs that I talked to on the East Coast. He always said the night that the officers don't show up, because they don't show up all the time. He said the night they don't show up, he goes, the tweakers can smell the damn copper and they come and steal it.
Well, it's funny, Kevin. I was just talking to Paul Mercer, a friend of mine. He's the guy that
Yep.
showed me this. And my last project that I did in Denver, I actually hired the Denver police off duty. This is right up my alley. I had 0 problems on that job site. 0.
Yeah, as long as you get them on the site, they're not going to have a problem.
I mean, these solar panels with the cameras, I mean, they're nice. They send me a text at 9 o'clock at night. I come, okay, I'm 30 miles away. What am I supposed to do? Call the friggin' police, man. By the time the police show up, the guy's already done what he did and he left the site. So this is
Well, think about
this is
using that.
101 for construction, man. Let me tell you, it
Yeah.
really is.
Think about using that solar camera you were just talking about. And then with that, you have an officer or 2 that are on one of the sites.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you get something. Well, you have the ability to reach out to them and say, oh, by the way, someone just scaled a fence out back.
Hey, Kevin. Yeah, no, this could probably be big time. I know in Colorado it could be big time. I mean,
Right. Well, here's what I'll tell you. As you start to put in jobs, folks, those of you, again, that are on here for the first time, we're just going to give you a couple guidelines so everybody has the proper expectations. When we go into an area that we're not actively filling jobs on a weekly basis, typically we tell people, listen, it's going to take 2 weeks to fill the first one. That's what we tell them.
Right.
Has it taken 2 weeks yet? No, hasn't taken that, but we tell everybody 2 weeks because we want to have that buffer. Now, when you go into other certain areas that are just absolutely exploding, like New York or Washington State or Texas or Florida's starting to blow up pretty fast too. You go in those areas and we're going to tell you 2 weeks, but typically it's like really fast.
yeah, no, that's good because you do pre-construction anyway, and in the pre-construction meetings you talk about what are we going to do for security.
Right.
So you're usually weeks out anyway, but I don't want to take up I don't want to hog up all the time here. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to talk to Paul about this a little bit more, but this is absolutely on fire.
Oh,
This is
yeah. This is as unique as it gets. I've been in networking for 35 years now. This is as unique as I've ever seen.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you.
You got it, bud. Lynn, what's up?
Hey, man. Hey, you're doing great. Hey, I got a question for the people that don't live in the United States, but they cruise through. What is the future look like for people that live in Mexico or England? How do they get involved? Is there a way to do that? What should I say?
If they have the ability to work legally in the United States, so they have a U.S. tax ID number, they can join and work here. But they can only build, obviously, in the United States. Eventually, we're looking to go beyond the U.S., but the goal is let's take over the U.S. market first,
Right.
and then we'll expand from there.
Perfect. Thank you.
You got it. Who else? Hit me while you got me.
I'm gonna come back on again, Kevin.
No problem.
Do you, and so one more question, do you have anything in that customer video, explaining the cost? Because I would have to do a cost, they're gonna do a cost analysis of
Mhm.
what does it cost me to run the cameras and do this, and how much loss compared to this? Is there a comparison?
So, no, but I can tell you how you're going to do that. So basically, we pay the officers going rate in the area. So if they're typically getting, $40 to $50 an hour in that particular area, they're going to get $50 an hour. And then obviously there's a price above that which covers everything else. It covers, doing the accounting, doing the insurance. It covers everything. It's part of the built-in illuno price. So the customers, everything comes out of that one price, and the customer is going to get a full breakdown. What is it in a particular area? I don't know. If you're in Denver, what you're going to do is hop in the system. You're going to put in a job, and then you're going to be able to know, you'll be able to know what it's going to be, because you don't put in a job and it goes live. You put in a job and it comes up with a quote. So it's going to have all that. What I will tell you is that we are by far the best value. I'm not going to tell you we're the cheapest, and we're definitely not the most expensive. We are by far the most value, because you can run all your locations from your phone, your laptop, or your tablet. You can run every location. You can have the locations running separately, have the reporting going to them separately, and the reporting coming to you in the main office. So you can set it up that way. So when it comes to, again, doing the W-9s, paying the officers. I talked to one construction company. They were in a number of states and jurisdictions and all that. And his horror show was trying to get them paid. He said he just left it to the accounting to track down the W-9s, and I'm sorry, yeah, W-9s. But he said the biggest issue they were having was paying them, because some were getting paid on Cash App, some were getting paid on Venmo, some were getting paid on PayPal, some they had to give a physical check to, and then some they had to pay the municipalities who paid them. So again, we take all the headaches that you've had with hiring off-duty officers or security, and it's gone. Are we the cheapest? No. We are by far the best value. Nobody touches us.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Alrighty. I mean, to give you guys an idea, when it comes to value, we now have, Live Nation is one of our clients. They do stuff nationwide. Biggest issue, biggest headache they have by far, getting security at all the different venues that they do concert promotions and all the different types of promotions and events that they do all over the country. Number one issue is security. Top retailer, one of the biggest employers in the entire world, is now utilizing illuno. Because why? Because we are the only ones that can do what they need in all 50 states. Nobody else can do what we do. That, folks, when you start to see some of the stuff that's coming out, you start to realize that this company, illuno itself, the company illuno did about $14 million last year. Very respectable. They had no idea what putting together, what do you call it? Structured compensation would do, and putting together a sales team of people who know people. I mean, we literally have billions of dollars in the pipeline for this year. Folks, this is something that nobody's ever seen before. And I know so many places have said it. I hate saying it sometimes because it's so damn cliche, drives me crazy. But the difference here is I can prove it. So, and we have the technology that we know works. we're tied in, while a couple of you come up with other questions, we're tied in with the unions, big time tied in with the unions in New York. We're tied in with the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police, the local versions and also national. So, I mean, we're very, very big ties. The company is actually looking within the next few years to actually become a credit union for officers. So there's a lot that is happening and is already in place, and there's a lot already planned for the future. So we got some good stuff happening. Anybody else have a question?
I think you rocked it. Good job.
All right, man.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you for guys and gals. Thank you for joining us this evening. I will be on here. Oh, wait, we have a holiday weekend. I'm not sure.
Yes. Yep. Monday.
Yeah, I'll probably I will probably be out partying, but I will still be doing the Blitz stuff. Those of you that are part of the Blitz, I will still keep hitting my video a day. I'll be in the Facebook group dropping those videos. If you're just becoming part of the company, you're not familiar with the Blitz yet, just chat with your the folks that brought you in, and reach out to me if you have to. Reach out to Charles, reach out to Simone, Jack, anybody that's, some of the admins that are there. We'll get you in the Facebook group. A lot of good stuff happening in there, a lot of camaraderie, people learning some stuff, going through it. And basically what I'll tell you is if some of you know the stuff I'm going to talk about already. You know it. I mean, here's the thing. I've got it in a notebook. I've taught this stuff for years and years and years. And it's great. I mean, every time, I sit down and I start teaching this again, I'm like, oh, this is good information. I love this stuff. And I have time. I have a lot of fun doing it. So I try to keep those videos really short, 2 to 5 minutes. Most of them are in there, quick little things. And here's the thing, folks. They're little tidbits. They're nuggets. And I will tell you, if one nugget makes a difference in your doing this business the way it should be done, as opposed to, shoot from the hip like we all love to do. We all love to shoot from the hip. But the reality is, if you go into it structured, the difference here is another 0. So whatever you're thinking here, if you're thinking big, because I know I'm thinking big, but I've actually sat down and done the numbers behind this. If you want to do it in a structured way, add a 0, because that's how big what we're looking at here is. With that, have an awesome evening. We'll see you soon.